Year. Goddamn.
Juwan next to Don.
Except my STEEZ know what's going on, man. Yes, Lord.
Goddamn, bringing y'all finals. What is this?
Week 1.
Ain't no special name for this shit.
I really don't think so. I be
Qualifying,
seeing
elimination.
it's because they got both of them together. I be seeing FW1 on the.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Finals week 1.
Yeah, that shit. They need a better name though, for sure.
For sure, but week 1 of AFL 2022 finals, man. We got y'all with the recap. You got a takeaway for this week?
I was very pleased with it, bro. Week 1, obviously, at least last year, bro. It wasn't. There was a couple blowouts, bro, in this first round that we had, and not everybody lived up to the competition that I thought that it potentially could have been. And this year definitely lived up to it. So I'm happy that we had some close contests, bro, and nobody really got their ass completely whooped, bro. So I'm satisfied with that, bro. So if this is what we have in store for us for the rest of the finals, bro, I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think this is probably one of the greatest week of footy that I've seen played in AFL. Every game was great, bro. Every game was a nail biter. Every game you couldn't call no winner. So, like you said, man, it was just a real satisfying week of footy. My team ain't in it, so I'm not emotionally involved like that, bro. So it was really just good footy, and couldn't really ask for much more.
That's facts.
Alright, so man, getting into these games, man. First game we had Brisbane versus Richmond. What you think about that game, man? 2-point win for Brisbane.
Yeah, man. As we all know, man, I tipped Richmond to win this game. I wasn't too disappointed with Richmond, though. They did put up a valiant effort, I think. The game was a close contest, bro. 17 lead changes, the most in quite a while, actually, and by far the most, you know what I'm saying, since the last record or whatever. But, yeah, they turned up, bro. I would say I was kind of disappointed in Richmond's ability to not win in the midfield, though, considering how early that they lost McInerney. And when I say they, I'm talking about Brisbane. At that point, we all know McInerney has makes a good impact on the game, bro. So without him, I feel like Richmond should have exposed that, and especially with the size of ruckman that you have in Dan Curvis and the midfield that they have. So I was disappointed in that. But the game overall, bro, just like I said, back and forth, high scoring. There was like 8 goals in the first quarter between both teams, one and then at least I think it was 9 the next quarter, bro. And obviously had its own moments of controversy with Tom Lynch with the late goal over the arc, and nobody could really tell because of the technology or whatever, and they ruled it a behind. It could have potentially been a goal, and that would have been a game-winning goal. But yeah, bro, it was just crazy to watch, bro. Both teams going back and forth. Lockie Neal turned the fuck up. And I've been waiting to see which players in this final series in general just will be able to elevate their game and show that they're a postseason player, bro. So, yeah, Richmond forced the turnovers, just couldn't quite force enough, and Brisbane stepped up the defense, and that's what it came down to, bro. Brisbane locked in and decided that we need to win this game and shed this reputation of losing, and started turning up. So, shout out to them boys.
So, I'm very disappointed with how Richmond played, bro. It was a lot of sloppy play. It seemed like there was not very many clean handballs. I definitely feel like Richmond lost more so than Brisbane won. Brisbane did what they've been doing all year. They've been sticking in the game, staying competitive, and getting shit done when it needs to be. But I don't think it was a time where they just dominated Richmond or anything. I think Richmond just, I don't know if it was just lack of experience with them, bro, but I really can't tell what it was, but I am disappointed with Richmond on how they played. Brisbane, Charlie Cameron did his shit, bro. I think he had 3 goals to finish it off. It was a home game, bro. It was a crazy high-scoring game. That's another thing about this week. Each game had its own distinctive thing about it that was just different as fuck. And this game was just real high-scoring, back and forth. Both teams scored over 100 points. And then the last few minutes was crazy, bro. The Tom Lynch goal that probably could have went either way. The Joe Danaher unrealistic attempt that led to the Tom Lynch goal, but then Danaher turned around and had the goal that fucking won the game with.
Outnumbered.
Yeah, Richmond had like 5 people on them, and nobody was just in the right position to stop the ball, bro. It was just a crazy finish to a game after Joe Danaher almost gave up the game. So it was just exciting game all the way to the end. But I definitely feel like Richmond lost the game more so than Brisbane won. But can't complain too much because I did pick Brisbane to win this whole thing, the granny at the beginning of the year. So. Hey man, I might be a genius. Alright, next game we got Melbourne versus Sydney.
This game, I was actually. Alright, so first things first, this game was a real physical game. A real. Just to highlight, I guess, the key moment, I guess you could say, that showed how physical the game was, really the matchup between Buddy and Stephen May. I like seeing that matchup. We were going back and forth all game, and really Stephen May kind of clamped bruh up the whole game, bruh. So it was kind of surprising to see that Buddy didn't really take advantage of the moment, given the talent that he has. And if anybody understands the moment, that he would. I would like to think, given how many he's been part of championships, premierships. So, but Melbourne really had the early momentum. I would like to think they were doing good at least keeping the ball away from the McCartan brothers. They didn't even get touches early in the game at all, bro. Really behind pressure, Sydney was able to really wrestle the game back and make it a contest, and they really did that. I think the midfield that Sydney had, I think they played pretty good. They had their quiet moments at times, but I think they took advantage of the moment, bro, when they needed to take over. I think after halftime, Melbourne really made a charge. After, like, in the premiership quarter, they know how it goes, and that's kind of how they put the Dogs to rest last year, and they couldn't do that to Sydney this game, bro. And Sydney just kept the relentless pressure, bro, and kept it consistent, and they seemed like they didn't let off really at all the whole game, bro. And they got lit up, and I think they got more boosted by the physicality of the game more so than Melbourne did. Tom Papley got into it. He was trying to get fired up with everybody on the team at one point against Melbourne and shit, and they ended up getting a score involvement right after that. So I think that definitely was a big catalyst for the team. And just Sydney players stepped up, bro. Like Sam Reed, I wouldn't expect him to be one of the better forwards on the team rather than Buddy. Like, if you told me he had a more impact than Buddy did, bro, I wouldn't have believed you. But he definitely stepped up and had his times too, bro. So Sydney, they're shedding that inconsistency that I think that they had earlier in the season, and they're shutting shit down, and they're showing that they're here to play, man. They're here to stay, and the way they're playing, they can make a deep run into this 2022 campaign. So I'm a believer in them boys. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, man. This was a great win for Sydney. I definitely was counting them out early. Chalker's the first thing on my mind with this game, bro. He went down. He had a little collision with Buddy. I don't even know how that shit happened, but he had a hairline fracture in his labia. His fucking leg. and he still played the whole game, which is crazy, bro. Like,
respect.
It's definitely respect, but you can tell, bro. You can tell that his kicks were just off, and even the commentator said, bro, like, a lot of Melbourne's offense is built around Petrarca, so I know he wanted to stay in there and for them, and I don't even know if that was the best decision or not, because he still got involved. He still got some handballs. His kicks were horrible the rest of the night. He definitely missed 3 good scoring involvements that he probably normally would have made, and that was a big loss for them for sure. But Buddy definitely, well, Buddy ain't do shit because Stephen May was there, but Sydney, they played a lot more aggressive and physical, and I was expecting them to fall off at some point, and they were really just consistent throughout the whole game, bro. Whenever somebody else, and the vets, Sydney just did so much shit right, because the vets were all involved. They got the young players involved. Reed got some goals. Hickey got some goals. Then Papley and Heaney were still doing their shit, bro. So it was like Sydney was really doing everything they needed to do, and Melbourne was kind of falling apart. And by the second half, you could kind of tell Sydney was gaining momentum. And in the fourth, bro, they just took over, and it was a great win for Sydney on the road. Uh, they definitely deserve this little bye week they gonna have, man. Didn't expect them to pull this off, and they shut me up, man. They shut me the fuck up. Yeah. All right, so next game we got Geelong and Collingwood. What about this one, man?
This one was kind of like the opposite of the Richmond game, bro. It was a lot less scoring, a lot more like less free flowing game, I think. And I think that definitely did not suit Collingwood as much. I think the Dacos brothers got off pretty good in the beginning of the game, but Chris Scott made adjustments and decided to tag Nick Dacos, I think with Brad Close, if I'm not mistaken, and it looked like it took him, it definitely lowered his impact on the game, bro. The Dacos brothers were having a good synergy and were linking up and getting the ball in the counterattack early, and it was looking kind of scary. And Geelong wasn't looking like they were up for the challenge in the beginning of the game. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was kind of worried about them boys at first. And even when we were live, a couple people in the chat didn't really think that. Obviously, the comeback game is more suited for Collingwood than it would be Geelong. So, and I was, admittedly, I was one of them people that wasn't quite sure if they were going to be able to wrestle the game back, but they did. Especially off the back of Jeremy Cameron, bro. He had a superstar game, bro. He's just cemented himself as definitely one of the best forwards in the competition, bro. He just looks so smooth. He's under control, bro. He has the game below the legs, bro. He can pick the ball up off the ground. He got the ground game. The set shot game is like he doesn't have any weakness, bro. And also Gary Rowan too. I expected more of Tom Hawkins, but Gary Rowan definitely stepped up his game this game against his old. Excuse me. I'm thinking Sydney. But yeah, he turned up, bro, and he had a huge impact, bro. He took a couple contested marks that I think definitely lifted the team whenever they needed them. When Collingwood was able to make a couple runs, and the late match winner from Max Holmes, I think was a big deal for him to be able to actually get a good moment and sink Collingwood, who's known for being able to wrestle the games in close contests. And Collingwood came up short. This was their niche and this was their bread and butter, but all good things had to come to an end. Jamie Elliott couldn't do it by himself, man. I think Taylor Adams had a good-ass game before he fucked his groin up, bro. He did that shit pretty bad.
Bro, they said his shit came off the bone, yeah, bro. That shit crazy as fuck.
Bro, hell nah, bro. Fuck that. Well, prayers for bro. Hopefully he gets healthy, man. Yeah. Collingwood I don't think they had enough fight at the end, bro, to be able to wrestle that game back from Geelong. And Geelong adjusted very well and was able to control the game. And it's the pressure, bro. I think Geelong ended up handling the pressure well, bro, because at first Collingwood had so many uncontested marks, bro, and that's just indicative of no pressure being on the ball, bro. You're just getting free lanes, free marks wherever you want to, bro, and Geelong just beat them up in the guts, bro, and that's just what it came down to.
Yeah, so this game, the first quarter was crazy, bro. The first quarter was probably one of the most intense, chaotic yet skillful games of footy that I've ever seen, bro. It was just nonstop spillages, contest to contest, and nobody really gaining any control of the footy. And that was a play that was definitely more suited for Collingwood, but Geelong stuck in it, bro. They definitely competed in a game that they weren't even really comfortable with, and that's what won them the game, bro. I definitely put a lot of the emphasis on the first quarter, even though the other three were great. It definitely, the pace slowed down. The first quarter was just an unsustainable pace for all four quarters to begin with. But once you kind of slow down the game to a game that Geelong is more comfortable with, I do think they had that advantage. But even then, Collingwood stuck in it, bro. Elliott had a crazy game. He was everywhere. There was some crazy goals from Cameron, from Elliott, from somebody else had a crazy ass goal. Maybe Lipinski.
I like Lipinski.
Yeah, but it was just such a high skill level game. And it came back down to the final minute, bro. I was really hoping for it to go into overtime just to see that in the grand finals. But no, Geelong pulled through the final minutes. Was it Rohan that scored that last goal?
Max Holmes.
Hell yeah, but
I think Rome was involved in that play though.
Yeah, it was definitely a team effort down the line, bro. So definitely kudos to Geelong, bro. Once again, y'all are shutting me the fuck up, bro. Every one of my tips is wrong. This predictions is ass right now.
The Guthrie brothers got the dub over the Dacos brothers.
Yeah, the McGuthrie versus Dacos.
Boy, I said McGuthrie.
The Guthrie. The Guthries got their fucking victory over the Dacoses, bro.
And Zach was good as fuck, bro. I fucked with bro that game. He was.
Yeah. The Guthries did have a little two-man hand, mark to handball to kick to mark. Yeah, that game was crazy as fuck, man. Maybe that might be my favorite game this round. Okay. But the final game of the round, fucking bitch ass trio versus the Dogs, bro.
Oh. All right, so this game, bro, it was looking down, bro. Frio was looking down and out, bro. At the beginning of this game, bro, it was looking like, bro, my boy here was just enjoying himself the whole time, bro. It was like, bitch ass. Every time they'll get a point or miss something on the full, bitch ass Frio. Yeah, bitch ass Frio. That shit would be funny as fuck, bro. So the Dogs were on their shit, bro. I think Dogs bump lifted, bro, and Dogs looked like they were just about to run away with this game until Frio started chipping at the lead, man. The Dogs had a hot start, bro, and then they just fizzled out, bro. They dried up their scoring, and they just could not buy a bucket, bro. And when I say that, obviously y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. But it looked like Frio just came up to the challenge, bro. They said, all right, it's not raining, bro. We got to turn up. I think their midfield really got up, bro. This was going to be David Mundy's last home game, considering their spot in the final. And on the ladder, they wouldn't be having that home ground advantage, except in this situation. So they turned up for him, bro. And obviously they won. The midfield turned up. I liked Andy Brayshaw had his good moments, and Caleb Sarong definitely had. I think he had a team high 30 plus disposals, I think. So anytime that you have him outplay Brayshaw, I think you definitely are getting your bang for your buck with them, bro. Especially with the young talent that you have over there. The defense, obviously, like we said, brother, they locked up the Dogs scoring, bro. They couldn't end up getting it how they wanted to. And early on, it looked like it could get dangerous because I think Sam Darcy had a couple marks inside 50 and he smoked a goal, but that's a young talent, bro. You don't want to see them young boys on the Dogs get their forwards going, and fortunately for Frio, they were able to shut that shit down, bro. So, yeah, man. That's all I really got for the game.
Oh, man. So this one, fucking Dogs, bro. Let me down, man. It was like, first quarter, they did great, bro. I was really enjoying myself, bro. And then the further the game went on, the more disappointing it got. Dogs blew a 41-point lead, bro. And it's like they was relying too much on Bont, bro. It's like every time there was a scoring play, it had something to do with Bont, and Bont was involved heavily that first quarter. So the Bont was involved heavily that first quarter, and I don't know really what happened to him. I don't know if they just put a tag job on that boy, but after that, bro, he really ain't do shit. I don't even think after that first quarter, the Dogs only scored 1 goal per quarter the last 3, bro. And Frio, on the other hand, just kept on getting better and better as the game went on, taking the lead like halfway through the fourth quarter and really just finishing out strong, bro. Walters was a big part of that turnaround effort for him, and then everybody just kind of started clicking, bro. And it was definitely more of a team effort, bro. It wasn't any like individual that really stood out like that. Unlike the Dogs, where Bont was like, if Bont doesn't touch the ball, we're not fucking scoring. Them boys, Frio just played as a team and they won the game. And moving on to the next round, but you know what? I don't think they're gonna get past the Pies. So enjoy while you last, Frio. Y'all got that home game. Yeah, that's all 4 games, man. Great fucking first week of footy.
Yeah.
What game you think was the best? Which one was the worst?
I probably would say, bro, I probably enjoyed the Brisbane and Richmond game, just because of the goal scoring entertainment behind it. Least favorite game, So is it definitely not? It's not gonna be Geelong Collingwood. It's not gonna be Richmond Brisbane. It's between the Dogs Freo game or Melbourne Sydney. And I probably would say, I don't know. Sydney was really impressive, bro. They were very entertaining. I would say Sydney themselves were more entertaining than the Dogs and Freo themselves. So I'd like to say them. I would like to say the Dogs Freo game will be at the bottom. The Dogs also helped to stink it up, not scoring like that. But and they didn't quite bring the pressure that Collingwood and Geelong brought. So
only thing I get to the Dogs game, they did have probably one of the best marks I've seen with Work Smith going up for a crazy ass mark. And because of that, man, I'll probably say Melbourne Sydney was the worst game this week, and that shit was still highly entertaining, but man, Freo had a 41-point comeback. Shit was really just ass, bro. I can't believe Freo came back and made it a game. I really wish I could sit here right now and be like, yeah, Freo Dogs was the best game because it was a fucking blowout for the Dogs, but no, Freo turned that shit around and made that fucking game that most people probably won't forget anytime soon.
our boy coming on.
Nah.
Or grass.
But yeah, my favorite game this week will probably be the Geelong Collingwood game, bro. It was just the most chaotic yet skillful game. Both teams had some crazy goals. And it was really just a fight all the way to the end, bro. You never. I guess at the beginning, it kind of looked like Collingwood was taking it away, but once Geelong got back into it, it was really just back and forth all the way up to the last minute. So, yeah, that Collingwood, all these games, I'm definitely going in the history books, but that Collingwood Geelong game was definitely on another level to me. But yeah, that's it for this video, man. Y'all goddamn like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube shit, man. Fuck with us tough, we got the Patreon, all that shit, and little shit below. But yeah, man. Till next time, bro. Till next.
See y'all next week, man. Talking about.
Yeah.